7:15. Spring gets all the attention when it comes to home buying, but homes do sell year-round, believe it or not. And despite the headlines, millions of existing homes are sold monthly. For those putting their house on the market in this what's left of this fall, we do have some tips this morning to make your home the most appeasing. Get it that curb appeal it needs to get sold. Dan Mills from the Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans joins us with those details. Dan, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
So, Dan, there are 5 things you say people can do to their homes to make it stand out from the other homes on the market during the fall. And you mentioned the spring is a big time to sell homes, but if you drive around New Orleans right now, for sale signs are everywhere. So what can people do to stand out?
You're right, and this time of year represents some interesting things to do. We all have those memories of going to somebody's house that's overloaded with some kind of specialty holiday decoration, you know. I remember going one time and somebody had Smurf Christmas, and I went in and there were Smurfs all over the entire house, and they loved this, thought it was endearing, and I will never forget that house as the Smurf house. So it's important to have some holiday decor, but tone it down and make sure that it's more accessible to everyone that's looking. They have to imagine themselves in that home.
So you can't have every surface covered with Smurfs, for example, because then they can't even get an idea of what they're looking at. What else can people do to make their home stand out?
Another big one that is overlooked this time of year. Remember where you know, we now, it gets dark by 5:30 when you're getting off work, and most people like to do a drive-by of the house, so it's going to be dark outside. So light it up. Get some lights outside. Make sure you're looking at your home in the evening hours and add a few spotlights. Highlight some areas of the home so that when people are coming by, you're putting your best foot forward.
Not Christmas lights, so light it up.
Right. So lights to enhance the architecture of the home.
Right. So people, again, can imagine what their home, if that's what they're looking at, would look like at night when they drive by.
We want them to be able to see it well. And also the address. Make sure that the number for your home is clearly visible from the street. Very important.
That's a good one, because how often are you driving around, you can't find an address, and that's all over the metro area. What else can people do?
You know, there are so many different things that we can do. One of the big things is just making sure that we're keeping everything clear out in front of the house. So make sure you're raking up those leaves, that the curb appeal looks good for the home, that things are neat and tidy and well maintained. Sometimes in the winter months we don't pay as much attention to lawn care. It's important to look at that.
Because people need to see what, again, you're trying to make sure people can envision what the home would look like if it were theirs. And one final thing? One
final tip, make sure, because the weather's going to start getting cooler, we're going to hear a little bit about that in just a minute. We want to make sure that you get that furnace checked, because, you know, you hit that furnace the first time, you get that little smell, you know, you're burning everything off. Make sure it's working properly, because a cold, uncomfortable home is never going to sell. So make sure you get that maintenance check.
And you don't want to sell a home that has broken things like that. That's a big item. We have a couple seconds left, Dan. I know the holidays are coming up. I still cannot believe I'm saying that. And there's a toy drive that you all are doing for kids in the area, correct?
We are. We're doing the Toys for Tots drive. You can drop off at 2424 North Arnault Street or go to HBAGNO.org and we'll give you some instructions. It'll be at Marchand Kitchens this year on December 15th, and we're going to have State Representative Delisha Boyd up there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and those good tips for people who are trying to get those homes sold at the back end of this fall season. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.